Welcome to the weekend. I'm Jon Caldara, president of the Independence Institute and your devil's advocate. Well, it's time for you to meet the young guns of the Republican Party. Some of these guys are going to be representing you in Washington. Some of them will be working with you as taxpayers afterwards. I thought it'd be fun to have some of the Republicans who are taking on the seated Democrats this year. So let's go around the table, starting over here. My future Congressman, Stephen Bailey, is going to be running against the incumbent, Jared Polis, up in the 2nd Congressional District.
That's right.
You've got Jared's money.
No, I don't.
And,
I wish I did. Can you give it to me?
And his sexual orientation, I'm assuming, is
his.
I think don't knock it till you try it, all I'm saying. From the 1st Congressional District, the man who's going to take out Diana DeGette, Mike Fallon. Glad to have you. Now, you're a doc, right?
I'm an ER doc, yes, sir.
Why are you doing this, then?
Because it's the right thing to do. Our government is moving into our health care, into our businesses. They're taking over. Somebody needed to stand up and do the right thing, and it's the right thing to do to try to get rid of a out-of-touch, entrenched incumbent.
And in the 7th Congressional, the great white hope is a black man, Ryan Frazier. So glad to have you. How are you?
Good to be here with you, John.
Now, you're also a councilman in the city of Aurora.
I am.
How goes the battle?
Battle goes well. We're working hard, knocking on doors, talking to as many voters as we can. We're engaged. And I think that's what's important. People are looking for someone who's going to listen, who's going to act, who's going to represent them. And I feel good about where we're headed.
He sounds like a politician already. And from the State House all the way to the United States House, Cory Gardner, you're taking on Betsy Markey in what is conceivably one of the hottest seats in the nation. People are looking at this.
That's right. The race has been ranked number 8 in the country by the Washington Post, ABC News, and others, and so we're working hard. We've got a couple of 4 or 5 more weeks and finish strong.
All right, so all 4 of you are taking on Democratic incumbents. And let me just put out my predictions here. No hard feelings. Markey's toast.
We can't take anything for granted.
You've got a shot at beating Ed Perlmutter, a seasoned politician in the 7th. Yeah. You guys are in 2 very liberal districts. You are the long shots. Tell me a little bit about this new movement. I get a sense that there's some new Republicans popping up. What's different? Let's start over here.
Well, I think
what's different with you young guns?
I think what's different is that you have a lot of individuals from various backgrounds who are motivated to go to Washington to actually represent the people and to focus on the issues they care about. I don't think any of us around this table think we know better than folks in our districts as to how best to live their lives. And that's a big part of the problem back in Washington. Ed Perlmutter ran on a platform to change Washington, and Washington changed Ed Perlmutter. I think we can all say that about our opponents. And I think what you're seeing in this movement is a real grassroots movement of individuals, all backgrounds and stripes, standing up to put forth solutions to how we can move America forward.
Everyone seems to agree that this year the backlash against the Obama regime, Obamacare, the government overreach, the stimulus spending, all the pork, the incredible amount of debt, you guys are in a couple of tough seats, but you guys are real contenders. Let's bring it over to Boulder. I mean, is there something different? You've been in Boulder for a long time. Is there something different brewing this year?
Yeah, there is. First of all, there was no CU Democrats group for the longest time. I guess they finally found one, and hopefully we'll get a debate on the CU campus. On top of that, there's a group called the Like Minds Group. There's a couple of conservative women that out each other and decide to get together every other month to have a social dinner. That group has grown from something like 20 to I think over 160. Yeah, in Boulder.
Publicly, they're admitting they're conservatives.
Exactly.
Are you sure?
Exactly.
Right. They're gay conservatives, though, so that's
I don't ask their orientation because I don't care. But the other thing that I see actually is walking precincts, especially when we went through Louisville, for example. You see kind of almost like a deer in the headlights look from a number of people. They just. We got what we wanted, but is this really what we want? Kind of look, and but they haven't thrown out quite their ideas yet. But they're kind of stunned and they're not sure how to respond to what's going on.
People are saying this year could be on par with 1994. It could be even on par with 74 after Watergate as far as a change of powers. You're out there walking. What's the sense? What's different?
Right. The one thing that I keep hearing time and time again from people, whether it's Estes Park, Colorado, or Wiley, Colorado, people really do feel betrayed about what this Congress has done. This Congress was sent there to balance the budget. Barack Obama promised that he would reduce spending, and it's been everything but that. And so the sense that they have been betrayed is real, and people are getting involved for the first time. I go community after community. People will come up to me and say, hey, this is the first time I've ever been to an event, to a meet and greet, to a rally. and they're stepping up, they're stepping forward, and because they're worried about what happens next.
Well, let me give you the tough question, all of you. The betrayal's not just from Democrats. Let's remember it was our team over the last decade that really betrayed our core principles on spending. We had a president who spent at a higher level of growth than LBJ did. You know, we set up the ball for this incredible takeover. So I'm curious, bring it to Denver. Tell me this time Republicans are going to act like Republicans if we actually have the landslide we're looking at.
We sure better. You know, conservatives need to bring those conservative principles to Washington. I always say that the Republicans started this madness with the special interest and the earmarks, and the Democrats have now perfected it. What we need to do is go back to citizen statesmen who are going to do what is right for the people of their communities, what's right for our generation, and just as importantly, act responsibly for what's right for our future generations. And so if we are able to ride this tidal wave and get control of Congress, we sure better act like the conservatives that we are and not let Washington ruin the process again.
We had it here, not only in Colorado, but in D.C., we lost it. We lost our credibility.
Well, John,
how do you rebuild that?
I think that's what's at the essence of, you talked about young guns, but you see so many races across the country that are in play. There's a reason. People want new voices who will offer up new solutions. And those of us who are honored and privileged to represent the people of our respective districts will very much have a mandate, an obligation to go to Congress and not only do what we say we're going to do, but hold our party accountable to those very same principles and very same philosophies of governing.
Tell me, this time it's different. Let me bring it over here. This time it's different, that when you guys go to D.C., I can trust you this time. Let me tell you, I'm not going to trust you. I'm going to be on you like flies on something, because I'm sorry. We've learned politicians aren't to be trusted, either party.
The first phase of this election year, you know, it ends on November 2nd. The next phase begins on November 3rd, when people's feet are held to the fire to make sure they're doing what they said they would do, to make sure that they're holding them to their word. And we've got to make sure that we do what we say we are going to do. It's absolutely critical. The can can't be kicked down the road. We've got to balance the budget. We've got to cut spending. And that's what does make this year different than 1994. In 1994, people acted out on a contract with America. But then a couple years later, that they've confused principles with power. That can't happen this time. The people are watching, they're holding people accountable, and it's time that we continue to hold our principles first.
Tell me, you guys get into office, I'm not going to have to ride you like bad Republicans as in the last decade I had to?
You won't have to ride me. I swear to you that you won't have to do that. I will stick to my principles. But we still need to have people from back here in the district to virtually be there with us in Washington, D.C., because there's going to be a lot of digging into the heels of the entrenched interests that are going to be fighting against any change. And we need the moral authority of the people back in the district all across the country to get that change across. And that starts in Congress. If Congress does not change its procedures, then it won't do anything fundamental to earn back the trust and the confidence of the American people.
Let's talk a little bit about the campaign trail. My sense is Democrats know what's coming. They know this is a swing year. They know that Washington has done a huge amount of overreaching. The debt, the intrusion into our lives with mandated health insurance, the idea of cap and trade making our energy costs go skyrocketing, and not focusing on jobs. You know, our economy is sputtering. You guys, they're scared. Talk to me about the debates. Let's start here and go around. How easy has it been for you as the challengers to go up against the incumbents and meet them face to face?
We challenged Betsy Markey to a debate in August and September when she came back to the district for the congressional recess, and she didn't even respond to us. And then when the Colorado and the Fort Collins Coloradoan and the Channel 9 News, the annual congressional debate, she refused to debate us on Channel 9 News. That's arguably the largest, most important debate. She has an opportunity on that debate to justify to the voters why she voted for health care, why she voted for cap and trade, why she voted for the stimulus bill, why she co-sponsored card check, but she refused to do so.
You want debates, and she's not giving them to you.
Well, we're going to have at least one debate we know of, but on her terms, on her conditions.
Most years you have 28 of them. Let's go to the 7th. Tell me about that.
We've had one debate in Arvada, and I think it was very telling.
Do you want more?
Oh, absolutely. It was a very telling debate. There was a stark contrast between the incumbent Ed Perlmutter and my viewpoints as to how we move our economy forward, how we provide the right environment that gives businesses confidence to invest and create jobs, how you really put forth fiscally responsible solutions and rein in the out-of-control spending.
Do you get a sense that Ed is trying to?
Government.
Is Ed trying